Good evening.
So you're back for round 2 of my top 10 HHN facades, huh? Well, I figure since it's 2018, I should update the list as of, 2018, because 2017 year has passed, and I need to update this list because, well, it's time to do it. So, here we go, folks. Here's my top 10 Halloween Horror Nights facades as of 2018.
Number 10.
Number 10 is going to This Is the End. Now, I feel with This Is the End, I just absolutely kind of love that facade because it was James Franco's house, and it was like the end of the world. And on top of that, you have Michael Cera on the lamppost, which was incredibly funny because all he was doing was cussing up a storm. And I really enjoyed that, especially if you've seen the movie, then you know that's actually a critical part of the movie. So I really enjoyed that scene. On top of that, from the facade being outside, you walk into the house and you go into his front room. I really enjoyed this maze also because it was in 3D, so it gave it more of an aspect of it being really funny. And on top of that, it was honestly the first funny maze that John Murray has ever attempted to do. So yeah, like I said though, the facade was just incredible, and like I said, it was James Franco's house, so it looked cool.
Number 9.
Number 9 is going to go to Michael Myers Comes Home. Now, I really like this facade because it was Michael Myers' house, and I really like the way it looks. You had the Strode Realty on the front, so it looked cool. On top of that, in the windows, you had Michael Myers stabbing his sister, and that infamous, Michael, what are you doing in my room? kind of voice, and I thought that was funny. It was probably just funny you hearing me say that right now, so... on top of that, you had the music playing and everything, and like the lights were just perfect on that maze. And then you walk in, and then you see Michael Myers sitting up on the top in his infamous clown costume. So I really enjoyed this maze overall, though, too. So yeah, number 9 is gonna be the Michael Myers Comes Home.
Number 8.
Number 8 is going to go to last year's Saw, the Games of Jigsaw, as in 2017. I like this facade a lot because this year they chose to choose Jigsaw's warehouse, which was really cool. And on the front, it had the spinning hypnosis kind of circle, which was known as Jigsaw's logo. So I like that a lot because it gave it a very scary vibe. Like you're about to enter Jigsaw's warehouse where all these infamous traps are being put into place and all these people are in them, and you're kind of walking through all the traps, seeing one by one all these people getting either killed or suffering of some sort. So I really thought that was cool, and it really set up the whole atmosphere of the maze itself, because when you walk in, you see Jigsaw's kind of main room where he looks at all the people on the cameras, and you see the puppet and everything. So I thought it was really cool.
Number 7.
Number 7 is going to go to American Werewolf in London. Now, with American Werewolf in London, it's one of my favorite horror movies of all time because the fact that it's a werewolf movie, and I love werewolves, is awesome. But what made this facade so cool was it was the slaughtered lamb. So it was the bar that you see in American Werewolf in London, and I really thought that was cool because bringing that movie to life and bringing that scene to life was really cool. You walk through the main entrance of the bar, you see the big sign that says the slaughtered lamb on it, and it makes you feel like you're in the movie. And then when you walk into that first scene where you're in the bar and the bartender's kind of telling you to get out and stuff, that was really cool. On top of that, once you leave the bar scene, you go to the forest where you get your first glimpse of the wolf, and just setting that whole atmosphere up of you going into the bar and you're into this universe of American Werewolf in London was so awesome.
Number 6.
Number 6 is going to go to 2017's The Horrors of Blumhouse. Now, this was an interesting facade because the way I like to include it and the way I see it is the facade was actually the purge scene. And I know that was actually part of the maze, but I like to consider it the facade because that purge scene is pretty cool when you see the purge going on outside. And the whole premise of this was the Purge is going on, and this movie theater is having kind of a marathon of all these Blumhouse movies, known as the Horrors of Blumhouse. So you're walking through the Purge, and you get to see all the action going on in the Purge, from people killing each other to a bunch of characters jumping out on you. And then after you walk through the hallway of bodies in the Purge facade area, you actually see the main facade for the Horrors of Blumhouse, which is a movie theater on top saying a Blumhouse Marathon, which is showing Happy Death Day and Sinister, and you get transformed into the Happy Death Day movie. But I really enjoyed this facade overall because, like I said, I consider the Purge scene to be part of the facade leading up to the theater scene, and I felt that this facade was really well done.
Number 5.
Number 5 is going to go to Titans of Terror. Now, I know Titans of Terror last year in 2017 was supposed to be The Conjuring, but due to last-minute stuff that, complications and stuff like that, they couldn't use The Conjuring, so they transformed it into the Titans of Terror. But overall, this facade was pretty cool because you were at this little kid's house, and it was the front of his house on Halloween night, so you got to see a bunch of decorations out there, which was Freddy, Jason, and Leatherface. No Michael Myers this year. I think they're saving them for this year. That's another time for another video, though. And I feel that with this maze, they did really good because as you walk through this front porch of the house, you see on the grass and stuff that there's little, like, Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees props and stuff. And then there's street signs that say Elm Street and Camp Crystal Lake and then, like, Texas and stuff. And then there's one little Easter egg that says Amityville and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. And then you walk into the kid's room, which he's, like, a huge fan of all these Titans of Terrors while he's watching the Titans of Terror marathon. And that's the whole premise of the maze, is you walking through a Titans of Terror marathon. But overall, I really enjoyed this facade because it looked like it was big time decorated for Halloween time.
Number 4.
Number 4 is going to go to Ash vs. Evil Dead. Now, the maze itself was not too good, but I did really like the facade for the maze because it was Ash's trailer, and it was supposed to be in the trailer park, which I really liked. And as you see in the video, you pass by and you see the sign of his trailer park, and you see his, like, kind of trailer, and you see, like, the outside, and it's like dead grass, and he's got lawn chairs and clothes hanging up, and then you ultimately walk into his trailer, and then you get to go through his trailer, which I thought was really cool. But I just feel like the trailer was just a good touch as part of the maze. I really wish they would have added the Delta, because the Delta would have made it more authentic. They did in Orlando, but I wish they would have touched it up in Hollywood, because I think that would have sold the maze completely, and it would have made it a lot better. But nonetheless, the RV and all the stuff outside of his RV looked really cool, and I really enjoyed this facade.
Number 3.
Number 3 is going to go to The Walking Dead No Safe Haven. Now, I really enjoyed this facade because, like I said in the previous video, it was the prison scene, and you got to see a lot of the aspects from the prison. Things such as the guard tower being on fire, and the big tank, and all the zombies roaming around the prison. It was like post-war, like they did in that season of The Walking Dead with the governor and stuff like that. So I really enjoyed it. On top of that, you go through the gate, and it says Georgia West Correctional Facility, or West Georgia Correctional Facility, something like that. Just for me, it made it feel authentic, and then you walk into the prison. But I really enjoyed the prison facades they did in the years of doing The Walking Dead. But I have to say this one was probably the best one of all time because of that giant tank.
Number 2.
Taking my number 2 spot will be my all-time favorite maze of 2017, which is The Shining. Now, The Shining was a really cool facade because if you like the movie just like I do, you'll know that the maze entrance was actually the maze from the actual film, and they did a really good job on it because it was the hedgehog maze, and you had that big archway, and then it actually had the maze map on it, so it looked really authentic, and it really looked just like the movie did. They put a little fake snow on it, and then when you walk through it going into the thing, it was actually, you felt the coldness and stuff like that. I really enjoyed that. I would have wished they used the hotel on it, though, because that scene doesn't come till like later on at the very end of the maze, but nonetheless, I still think that entrance of the maze looked really cool, and I really dug it, and it was like bringing the movie to life to me.
Number 1.
And finally, number 1 is going to go again to The Exorcist because, like I said in the last video, I felt that bringing this infamous poster to life and this infamous scene from that movie to life was just awesome. For me, walking through that maze and setting it up outside was just phenomenal. You see the wax figure of the priest looking up at the window like you do in the movie and in the poster, and that light is coming down on his face. But in some way, the light's coming down in your face, and it's like you're walking through the maze and experiencing all this movie come to life. I really enjoyed that facade, though, because they got every detail right, from what the house looked like to the light coming down to even having the actual wax figure of the priest coming out. I really just dug it, and honestly, it was probably the best facade Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood has ever pulled off. I have not seen anything good, but as good as that. But hopefully, the next years that changes my opinion on this. And that is my updated list of HHN facades for 2018. So we'll update it again in 2019 and see what they bring to us this year. Hopefully some more amazing facades. I really enjoyed last year's facades, and I really enjoyed how they brought me the movie, TV show, or whatever they were trying to pull off to life. I hope they continue to do that in the future. So thanks, guys, for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my updated 2018 HHN facade video. Make sure to tune in next year for another facade video for 2019. And make sure to tune in every week for my channel as we put up a new original video every Mondays and the Mindless Horror Podcast every Tuesdays. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.